why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Manolo Sanchez. Everybody in the powerlifting and arm wrestling scene in Puerto Rico knows me by that name, Manolo. I started arm wrestling when I was 16 years old and been doing it ever since.
Wow. That's a long time. That's great.
Yeah, it's a long time. The arm wrestling scene in Puerto Rico kind of died after the 90s. So it was kind of hard to find people that arm wrestle or even compete.
Yeah.
I started at 16 years old because in the gym that I trained, which it was a municipal gym from my hometown, and the guy that worked there was an arm wrestling champion from what we used to know here in the late 80s, early 90s as the Pulseo Medalla, which was kind of the Yukon Jack of Puerto Rico. Remember that big tournament that was held in the United States with regionals and all that?
Yep.
Well, in Puerto Rico, we used to have a tournament called Pulseo Medalla, and it was on the news, it was in television shows, and I noticed, and it got my attention at a very early age, the arm wrestling sport. And when I finally was old enough to learn about it and train for it, I started competing at 16 years old at the last dying events of that tournament, which was called Pulseo La Candelaria, which was done in Mayagüez. And my first tournament at 16 years old, I broke my arm. I fractured my arm. It didn't actually broke. It just fractured. And I remember I trained hard after I recovered from that for over a year and a half. And finally, at 19 years old, I pulled at that same tournament, which was the last one. After that one, there was no more arm wrestling in Puerto Rico. And I won the championship for the super heavyweights.
Wow.
20 years old.
That's awesome.
After that, arm wrestling in Puerto Rico kind of died. Nobody trained, nobody practiced or nothing, because in Puerto Rico, we didn't have tables. We only had in Mayagüez, we only had one table, and that was at my gym. And I was the only one that I remember I used to tie a rope in my hand and have all the guys pull on my arm because nobody would arm wrestle.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was weird. I think I did that before Voivoda.
It isn't. Mayagüez is a fairly large city. Isn't Mayagüez like maybe the third largest city in Puerto Rico? So it's a fairly large area for only having one.
There's three big cities in Puerto Rico: San Juan, which is the capital; Ponce, which is in the south of the island; and Mayagüez, which is in the west.
Right.
And
you are how old now?
The big cities that the other two.
No, go ahead.
How old am I now? 40 years old.
Because you know when you were talking about doing this,
I'm 40 years old, and
you didn't look old enough to be talking about pulling in the 90s. That's why I was surprised. You look younger than that.
Yeah, because I say 90s, but when I started pulling, it was late 90s. Because Pulseo Medalla kind of wind down and came down to a really small tournament that only was held in Mayagüez. So it was about for 1998, 99, something like that. That's why I say 90s, because the Pulseo Medalla was late 80s, early 90s. That was the prime of the Pulseo Medalla, and then it started to die down until it was over.
Now, how about the arm wrestling scene today? Is it busy again?
Well, yeah, it's actually picking up. I started Pulseo TV, which is my YouTube channel, in 2018 with the commitment to show Puerto Rico that we still have arm wrestlers in the island, because everybody talked about it. Everybody arm wrestled in bars and all that, in schools, but nobody did something organized or something serious. And I met in 2010, I met some guys from the city of Florida. In Puerto Rico, we have a city in the north of the island. It's called Florida. It's in the north, almost center of the island. And there's this guy, I met this guy there. He's called Joe Cortez. And he started doing small things for arm wrestling. He's actually a welder. So he built his own tables.
Nice.
So finally, we had somebody who could build those tables and had tables. And I remember in 2010, I met him in a tournament that I just went to see because I didn't know him. I wasn't even training because after 2005, I stopped competing because after Pulseo Medalla died down and the Pulseo La Candelaria was over, I actually traveled to the United States and competed a couple of times over there. But then I got married and all that, and I had kids, and I stopped arm wrestling. But I always researched. I mean, this was a time where I didn't even know who John Percent was. Yeah. You know, I only knew about arm wrestling for Pulseo Medalla and the guys that used to arm wrestle in Puerto Rico. So when I stopped arm wrestling and I got married and had kids and stuff, I started researching about it on the internet. And I remember there was I think it was called the North and East something, which is like a blog.
Oh, the Northeast.
I think that
the Northeast
Gary
boards
Roberts started that one. Yeah. And then I got to know who Dave Patton was, who John Percent was, Richard Lucas, all these guys. And then YouTube came into the scene. And I always research and look for arm wrestling in YouTube until I found a video of some guys in Florida, Puerto Rico that were arm wrestling. And I emailed them. I got to meet them. And it's been a roller coaster since 2010 to now. But since about a year ago, it really started to pick it up. We have some friends of ours in Cabo Rojo who started to arm wrestling too. Miguel Rosas, which is a personal trainer for Cabo Rojo, he started arm wrestling, and he started doing small tournament once a year, and you know, guys got motivated. And right now, I remember I was talking to him, and I was saying that we needed amateurs because every time we did a tournament, a competition, an event, it was always the same guys, and the new guys. Anybody who wanted to arm wrestle would look like, oh, damn, these guys are big, strong. They know what they're doing. Why I'm going to compete? I can get hurt. I won't win. I don't have a chance. Right. So the same guys kept competing against each other. And I talked to Miguel and I said to him, we need amateurs. We need to concentrate on amateurs. And back in September 4th, we did an event in Mayagüez, and we concentrated on that, on amateurs. And I started promoting it on our Instagram profile of Pulseo TV on Instagram. And people started DMing me about wanting to know about the sport, about wanting to practice, about wanting to start arm wrestling. And I just kept like, where are you from? And he said, I'm from San Juan. And I tried to contact some arm wrestler who knew what he was doing, and gave him his phone number so they can contact each other and he could start practicing and learning about the sport until on September 4th, they were, how do you say it, ripe enough so they can start or do an amateur tournament. And it was packed. It was packed. A lot of amateurs came up, and it was a long tournament. It was almost all night from 6 to 12 at midnight. And it was great. We had the guys, a tournament for the guys that had experience and the older guys that know what they were doing. But we concentrated on the amateurs, and it was a great tournament, and it hit. Arm wrestling hit. Everybody liked it. The owner of the bar that we did it in, he sold everything he had that night. Food, drinks, water, everything. He sold everything. And that started getting the attention of the other owners of the other establishments from the Pueblo de Mayagüez, and they want to invest in the sport, and they want to bring arm wrestling and an event of arm wrestling to their establishment, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we're gonna do on December 18th. We're gonna have a big amateurs tournament in Mayagüez again, in a new establishment that's gonna inaugurate with our tournament.
Cool.
Yeah, we of course when obviously
I started PulseoTV with the idea. What?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, tell me.
I think there's a delay.
When I started PulseoTV, yeah, I think it is. It wasn't earlier, but now it's like kind of a delay.
Yeah.
What I was about to say is that I started PulseoTV with the idea that I could start making some money out of YouTube and invest it in the sport, and be. So I didn't have to look for promoters or anything. I could use the money we were generating to do tournaments, and that's actually what we are aiming for. And thank God, the channel is picking up, and I'm grinding it out. But I'm making content, and it's good content, and people are starting to notice in the sport, in the island, and even in the States. Devin Ladd, we became like kind of a friends through Instagram. Like he did a breakdown for the Spoto Yellow match, and he was doing it with my video.
Oh,
it
nice.
was my video on his screen.
That's cool.
And that was kind of I think that was kind of him supporting us, you know.
Yeah, definitely. That's pretty cool.
So now, based off what you said about the history of the sport in Puerto Rico, I'm gonna assume that there was no rivalries amongst the other Caribbean islands, or is there as of now?
Well, right now, I just found on an Instagram profile about some guys in some island in the Caribbean. I forgot the name. It was a small island in the Caribbean. They were saying they're the strongest arm wrestlers in the Caribbean.
Uh-oh.
I have to say something friendly, but I just commented like, I don't know about strongest, but you're making great content. Keep it up.
You might have to take it. You might have to take a little trip over there and go prove it.
Yeah, I'm willing to do it. If we can find a means to do it, I'm willing to set up something and bring some of their guys, or some of us can go there, and we can find out. I do know there are some strong guys in Mexico because they were worlds.
Have you come up to the States at all to arm wrestle?
Like I said, when I was young, like 23, 22, 23, like when I traveled to the States and compete was about the same time Michael Todd, Dave Chafee, and all those guys were starring.
Yeah.
I remember I was in the tournament where Dave Chafee broke his arm. I was at that tournament. I was in the amateurs division. I think he went pro and he broke his arm. I was on the, there's a famous video, one of the first matches John and Devin Laird had, was the Superstar Showdown.
Yep.
I was there. I wasn't competing with them, but I was there, and I got eliminated quickly, but I was there.
That's cool though. That's all that matters. You got to be there.
I remember pulling. I remember pulling Michael Todd once. I remember my first experience arm wrestling in the States. The first match I got was Marcio Barbosa.
Oh.
And he pinned me like in
he's a monster.
Seconds. And I remember he looked at me and he said, he looked at me and said, "Welcome to arm wrestling."
Oh.
It was my first time over there. But I didn't beat any of these guys I'm talking about, but I did pull them. I pulled Michael Todd when he was beginning. I pulled I pulled with Bucky Russell. You remember
Yes.
Bucky Russell?
Yeah.
I pulled with him. I got to pull with Michael, with Bucky. I got to pull with Marcio. There's some guys that I know they're legends in sport, but my name, their names are slipping my mind.
Yeah.
Guys that don't arm wrestle anymore.
Yeah, Barbosa lives in our area, so we see him around a lot at tournaments up here.
Yeah, I don't think he would remember me, because when I pulled him, I was like 200 pounds. I'm 270 something or 285 right now. So I don't think, and I have a beard, so I don't think you remember me. It was so long ago. I think almost 20 years ago.
Maybe you got a better chance now.
Well, I've been like, I haven't been arm wrestling competitively. I'm just concentrating on doing content. I'm trying to promote the sport. I mean, I train in the gym for it, and I practice a lot with the guys, but I just try to help them. Try to help everybody get strong and be better. I had a powerlifting phase. I did powerlifting from 2016 to 2019. I became national champion of the super heavyweights, and after that, COVID hit, and when I had nothing to do because all gyms were closed, I started arm wrestling again in my house, doing with the tables I have, doing exercises and training for arm wrestling, and that's how I came back to the sport at this point. So I got to thank COVID for that. And I do believe the sport of arm wrestling is coming out strong out of this whole circus of a thing that we're going on, because arm wrestlers kept going. Events kept moving. Devin traveled a lot during COVID doing arm wrestling. Larry Wheels started doing a lot of content about arm wrestling because there was nothing else to do. Right. And I believe that after all this is over, arm wrestling is going to come strong out of it. And it's going to be a bigger sport than it was maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Well, in fact, we had the New York tournament last year.
Right now, everywhere you go, there's arm wrestling.
We have a tournament that's coming up this week that they're still calling the New York Underground Championships, because last year they called it that because it actually had to be underground, because of course Governor Cuomo and his sidekicks were trying to close everything down, and we were doing this against regulations. And in fact, with 98, what we did is we called our tournaments last year the Protest Series, because as you might be aware, when a lot of the demonstrations and
I saw that. I saw the shirt.
Protests were still allowed. So we basically held ours, called it a protest, and kind of somewhat humorously said, well, it's a protest, so they can't close us. So we had the Protest 1 and Protest 2 last year in Philadelphia. I think you're going.
I heard about those, and I saw the shirts, and I liked it. It was great.
Yeah, I think you're going about things the right way in that with the amateur, because we've done pretty much the same thing. Not of course, with the 98, we talk about the 98% that are not among the elite, and people come to us and say, well, are you opposed to the elite? We said, oh, no, absolutely not. In fact, we invite, one of them to have had one, to each of our tournaments, pulling the, we had Paul Passmore, we had Jordan Sill, but we certainly want to extend it, to the non-elite. And in fact, we think we're doing so well because we really got the organization going and the movement going before we actually tried to run a tournament. So I think with your attention to amateur, I think you're going about that wisely.
For sure.
What's in store for PulseoTV?
Yeah, because there are a lot of amateurs in the island.
What's in store for PulseoTV as of 2022? What are the biggest plans you guys got going on?
Well, right now I'm preparing and planning for doing an absolute arm wrestling champion of Puerto Rico. Why? Because everybody brags, everybody says they're strong, everybody's saying challenging each other, but it just challenging each other and doing sort of super matches in the back of their house. And it's not organized. And right now, with the momentum we have with the events with the September event and the success I know we're gonna have with the event in December 18th, I'm planning on doing it on spring break, hopefully, and absolute champion. I'm thinking I'm gonna do an open weight tournament so everybody can come and prove themselves. And whoever wins is the absolute champion of Puerto Rico and can call themselves the champion of Puerto Rico, because everybody calls themselves the champion of Puerto Rico, but there's never been, or in lately on this past years, 10 years, there's never been something organized that you can say like, I'm the champion of Puerto Rico because I beat this guy and this guy and this guy, and the strongest guy is in the island, and I'm the champion. So there's nothing, there haven't been anything like that since el Pulseo Medalla. So what I'm planning to do is take the strongest guys in the island, put them in a tournament, and declare the absolute champion in Puerto Rico in an open weight tournament. And we're gonna have a belt, like a wrestling belt, from PulseoTV that will declare the absolute arm wrestling champion of Puerto Rico. And after you're the champion, you got to defend your belt in every way you can imagine. Like if you go to a tournament in Puerto Rico and on the first match you lose, you're not the champion anymore. The guy who beats you is the champion now. It's gonna be like that. It's always gonna be online. It's always gonna be on the line.
That's fun.
So if you say you're strong and you're the champion, you better prove it.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. Might gain a little more interest from the United States for people, from pullers to come in down and try their hat out there as well.
So when you talk about spring break,
Yeah.
you get students from the mainland coming to Puerto Rico for spring break. I mean, a lot of the students, like college students, when they go to spring break, it seems they go to Florida, Texas, sometimes Mexico, but I really haven't heard of people necessarily going to Puerto Rico. Do you get an influx of students from the mainland for spring break?
Since COVID started, we've had every spring break since COVID. Young kids from the mainland come to Puerto Rico and do their thing.
Now,
I want to do it in spring break, but as Dan must know, we have a thing here, a religious thing here. It's called Semana Santa, and everybody is at home doing their religious thing, and on the weekend everybody parties, and that's what I'm planning. You're gonna party with arm wrestling.
do you have some names of some arm wrestlers from there that we should look out for that you think might become the best in Puerto Rico?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you of one guy that I know will win. His name is Joel Cortez from Florida. He will win. I know. I have no doubt. He will win. But we got strong guys here. We got in Florida, we got Puerto Ricanos over there, like Noel Nunez. You must have heard of Noel Nunez, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Have you?
Yes. Yes, we have.
Well, Noel, he could might as well come down and compete for the absolute champion of Puerto Rico, and I think that would be a great match. Joe versus Noel. In Puerto Rico, we have a 150 pound guy called Wesley Contes. He's as fast as Corey Miller. I think faster. I don't think he's as strong as Corey, but he's fast as Corey.
Nice.
So who knows? Maybe he can win. Another guy we have that he's like I always said they were 1 and 2 in the island. Was Alejandro Altiler. He moved to Florida, and that guy he's strong. He is strong. I believe once he start pulling in Florida, everybody's gonna run for the hills because that guy is strong. I mean,
Nice.
I'm not arm wrestling anymore, but I do know I'm strong, and I cannot handle him at all. I can handle Joe. I can hang with Joe a little, but with Altilel, I cannot handle him. No, he's strong, and once he gets going in Florida, people are gonna be running for the hills because that guy's strong, and I believe he will come down to the absolute tournament and try to get the championship. And he comes down, and Noel comes down. Those three are going to be hard to beat.
Nice. Now, if you could have one of the elite arm wrestlers in the world come down and visit you guys, what are a couple guys that you would want to come?
Well, definitely Devin Larratt. Devin and I have been talking for years
Yeah.
and talking about the idea of him visiting us. And it almost happened. It almost happened during COVID. He told me he was going to come. But then there were some lockdowns again in Puerto Rico and everything fell apart. So he went to San Diego, I think. And after that, we were in conversation that he could come over here during December and the event we're gonna be having on the 18th. But the John Percent match, presented and came up, and he told me it might happen, but it's not sure because he's gonna be in Dubai, he's gonna be in the 11. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just hoping that he considers and comes down. But I would love to have in Puerto Rico Devin Larratt, Chance Shaw. Chance Shaw and I have, kind of developed another friendship through social media. And
Yeah, he's a great kid.
Exchange conversations, and he's a nice guy, and I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would love to have Paul Lin come down. Yeah, I think he's from up there, right?
He is also from our area.
Yeah,
right.
He's very mean.
The nicest arm wrestler ever.
He's a very, very nice guy. Yeah.
Well, I would love to have him over, and yeah. I talked to him after his match with John because I knew Paul was good, and I know Paul is good. He's an elite level. But what I saw in that match, I know just for me, what I saw him put himself in the line. Like he didn't care if he got hurt. He just went with everything he had.
Yeah.
And he didn't stop. And that, it got my heart, got my heart into it. I started rooting for Paul.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted John to win, but when I saw that, he went all out, and he won my heart. Yeah, he just left it all there. He didn't care. He went all in.
Yeah, we were all there. It was awesome.
Great guy.
Yeah. It was fun to watch it.
Yeah, Dan was there. Yeah, I saw him in the stream. Gary Roberts stream.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, when Gary Roberts attacked me.
Oh yeah, what was that all about? And I'm hearing things that he like quit.
He's back. He jumped over the table like jokingly to like attack me. And then he blew chalk in my face, but he was joking around. I knew he was going to do it, but other people were like, "Oh, I can't believe he did this. He's bad for the sport." So he kind of got discouraged a little, and he was going to step back. But now he's back anyway. So you know how people are.
No, I saw that. And I took it for what it was.
Yeah.
I love Gary. I even started calling Gary the washer of arm wrestling. You know that in Marvel Comics, there's this character that was in the series. in Disney Plus. He's the watcher of arm wrestling. You can see all
Yeah.
videos, and he's there with the camera. He's the watcher of arm wrestling.
Yeah.
If there's arm wrestling, it's got to be Gary Roberts. It's got to be there.
He's a super nice guy too.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell. And I don't of the podcast that arm wrestlers do in this week or this weekend. I heard that they say that Gary was quitting, and I said like, no, how can Gary quit after all these years? And I didn't know why. I didn't know why. Maybe because we didn't see him on the. There's so many things that have been going on this weekend and this past week, and we haven't seen them. I know he was moving, so maybe that's it.
That too, and he had all the footage of the John Brzenk and Paul Lynn match, and Ryan Bowen posted it on his page and got all the views. So Gary was like, how can I make a living doing this when people are just stealing my content?
I know.
So that's sad. That kind of pushed him over the edge.
Dude.
I think.
Dude, I see, and this is me being honest, and this is me talking for Manolo Sanchez.
Yeah.
Gary Roberts and ArmTV, it has been here way before us.
Yeah.
And this guy has everything about arm wrestling, everything, and that his channel doesn't have the following from other guys that have millions.
Right.
I mean, Gary, everything he gets from his YouTube profits, he puts into the sport.
Yeah.
You know, and I see other guys that have channels, YouTube channels that make a lot of money. They don't put nothing back into the sport, and they get this so many views. And Gary, you know, I even always comment on his videos. Why aren't people following Gary, subscribing and liking and watching? Because he has everything.
Yeah.
He has everything. They can make a movie about it.
He's been getting content for like 30
It's
years.
so sad.
In the sport.
Really,
Yeah.
it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has everything. Everything. I mean, when John Brzenk started his channel, the first thing he said, I want to do some breakdown videos. I'm going to have to call Gary Roberts to get some videos.
Yeah.
I mean, what else?
Right.
He has everything. You know, I don't know. I don't know what really.
Well, we'll put a link to your channel in the description.
We are a community, and we got to support each other.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and many people do.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
really
you.
kind of
I will.
I was just going to say, it's really kind of striking how in this sport, people will, at the very top, will help you. And just when you said about you broke your arm at your first tournament, you were fairly quick. I waited till my fourth tournament to break mine. But after I broke my arm, I said something to James Reed, said that he was talking about Dave Chafee breaking his, and he said before he broke his arm, he really wasn't that good. Dave Chafee was not. And I said, well, gee, I wonder what, why? Did he just get more determined? And James said, well, I'll ask him. But instead of asking him, he sent a note to Dave Chafee saying, you're going to be hearing from Dave Schell about, your arm break. And so I texted Chafee, and he really sent a very gracious and very lengthy, detailed note back to me about how, he had worked his other arm for the first year when he was, after he broke the one, he worked the other, he came back that much stronger, and how he was nervous for about the first 2 years, but after that, everything was fine. And this was someone who at that time, that was 2017, was really in the top, handful in the world. And, who was I? Just somebody getting started. And he was very gracious. And I don't think there's that many sports where a person would do that.
It's true.
Yeah, true. we are a community, and I believe we gotta help each other. We gotta stay together because the guys that have been doing this for so long, like we have to support each other for the future generation so they learn and they keep the sport together. You know,
Yeah.
I believe in like right now, I'm trying to find every Puerto Rican that's arm wrestling in the United States so I can know where they are so we can travel. Say there's a tournament in Las Vegas. We got Arturo in Las Vegas, Arturo Pizarro. He's a Puerto Rican. He lives in Las Vegas. He pulled on the tournament on Saturday. We got Noel in Florida. I think we got Dan in New York. I'm trying to I think yesterday a guy from Arizona DM me about him arm wrestling in Arizona. So I'm trying to to build the community of Puerto Ricans around the states that arm wrestle together. And having said that, we gotta keep together the entire community of arm wrestling and help each other, because I'm telling you, we are coming out strong out of this COVID thing, and this is going to grow. Everything you go everywhere you go, there's going to be arm wrestling.
Do you think COVID was a game changer and the best thing for the sport of arm wrestling?
Well, I don't want to say nothing positive about COVID, but for arm wrestling, it helped because every weightlifter anywhere who didn't know what to do turned to arm wrestling. Like, we got to thank Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels didn't have anything to do. And what did he do? He started arm wrestling. And everybody concentrated on that content that Larry was putting out. He was just arm wrestling because there was no powerlifting, there was no strongman, there was no bodybuilding, there was arm wrestling. And he started bringing, when he brought the schoolboy thing was during COVID, starting COVID, then he brought Devin, and Devin has an ambassador, has done wonderful things for the sport, traveling, and this was all during COVID because arm wrestling kept going, because you cannot power lift in your backyard, in your garage, because it's too expensive. Not everybody has the equipment, but everybody can arm wrestling anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, even guys that did something else like Juji Mufu, he started doing arm wrestling content.
It is kind of ironic, though, that with obviously you cannot arm wrestle while social distancing. So here we are all breathing in each other's faces with, at less than 6 feet.
Well, arm wrestling is kind of like I say that people that get married, want to get married and have kids are rebels. Well, I think arm wrestlers became rebels during this thing because we kept arm wrestling. I mean, I arm wrestle at home. I got 2 tables. I got my friends to come over, and we pulled a little because there was nothing else to do. And I know all across the world, anyone who had an arm wrestling table did just the same thing.
Yes, I was very fortunate that I really kept practicing and kept going to practices and tournaments that, there weren't that many tournaments, certainly practices, and really, never managed to not get, the virus at all. And it was just, kind of ironic that some people did and some people did not. And in fact, the people I practiced with said, that they were concerned because, I'm 70 years old, and they were concerned that at my age, I probably shouldn't be doing it. And I was glad for that, expressing concern. But they said, you should either just stop the wandering around doing all the arm wrestling, or, stay away from us for a little while. And I said, hey, I have no problem with that. I'll stay away. Well, that was in December of 2020. And in February, they called me and said, you may as well come back. We all got it. Where I had been wandering all over Tarnation and did not did not catch it, and they just happened to just by the chance or whatever. And none of them ended up in the hospital. They didn't get it really bad, but they did get it sufficiently that they really had to they had some problems with it.
What has been your biggest challenge?
Well, my circle of friends and the guys that go to the gym, my biggest challenge in arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, my biggest challenge in arm wrestling has well, I've tore my pecs 4 times.
Ouch.
Not benching, arm wrestling.
Oh, wow.
So injuries have been like really, really challenging. Right now, my right shoulder, it's bad. It's bad, and right now it's a big challenge because I have to, I'm a side pressure guy, and when I have to go in, I got that rotator cuff engages and it hurts. But if I'm gonna speak about big challenges in arm wrestling, I'm gonna have to say this I don't want to use the wrong word. I would say beefing. Do you understand when I say beefing? It's like people having beefs with each other.
Yeah.
Right.
The hype.
For
The hype
wrestling.
game.
Yeah.
People talking smack, bragging, and the hype game. But in Puerto Rico, it's not a hype game because if it's a hype game, it's something that it's not serious. But people here do take it seriously, and they're starting doing and saying things that get people angry.
Yeah.
And it's been hard to overcome those attitudes of certain people to make the sport move forward. I mean, I'm talking, I said to you that I met the guys from Florida, Puerto Rico in 2010. It's 2021, so it's 11 years later. And finally, now we found a formula to move forward. I'm saying that throughout these 11 years, we've been up and down, and when everything is good, someone or some says something or does something that everybody gets pissed, and including me, and just steps away because people get tired about this drama. This is a sport. This is a gentleman's sport. You're not supposed to be saying or doing things to hurt the sport. But at the end, it only hurts the sport because I'm gonna get this out there. In September 4th, we had an event. It was a great event. It was full. You could look up on my on YouTube on my channel the videos of the event, or even the pictures and the small videos I have on Instagram. It was a great event. Could you believe me if I told you that we had calls 2 hours, 3 hours before the event asking us if the event was still on because they were told it was canceled?
Oh.
Ow.
Yeah.
We would believe that.
I believe it. I believe that, but it's just incredible that it's not unique to us.
Right. That stuff happens here too.
So, sleight of hand.
And that's in Puerto Rico in arm wrestling. That's the biggest challenge the sport has had during these 11 years. People behaving in ways that they don't do nothing good for the sport. Like they think because if they didn't came up with the idea, it's not worth it, and they boycott the event or try to bring it down. But thank God that we have found a formula. We have found guys that are really committed on making this work, and the amateurs are really motivated. I would like to thank Joe for always being there, Joe Cortez, Cali Velazquez, which is a strong left arm wrestler. I believe in 1-2 years he will be unbeatable in Puerto Rico with his left. I like to thank Miguel Rosas from Cabo Rojo, my neighbor. He's been putting a lot of work and a lot of hours making this work. My team, my friend Javier Perez, Stan Joviak. He's a Polish guy that lives in Puerto Rico, and he's a professor of mathematics at the University of Maya West.
Oh, wow.
So not everybody can say they have that on the team. And Javier, my friend, he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer.
So all walks
I
of
got a
life,
lawyer.
then.
I got a math professor. I got a doctor in our team. So
Yeah.
yeah, and
What do you
nurses,
do for a living, if
nurses,
you don't mind me asking?
male nurses. We have it all.
Well, yes, even the three of us here. I mean, we
Well,
have
I
Ryan-
work for the government.
Ryan-
I work for the office of the government, but
no, the same thing right here. I mean, just the three of us. Ryan is in the technical field installing, burglar alarms, smoke alarms, that sort of thing. Dan's a massage therapy, and I'm an educator. I teach history to community college. So everybody thinks we're all truck drivers, but no, we're not.
cool. Well, I work for the government. No, we're not. This sport can be, anyone can do this sport. Anyone, kids, woman, anybody, because I work for the government, and what I do directing is help people. That's what I do. My job is in the community. I think it's called or organizing. Wait. Community development organizer.
Okay.
That's the title of my job. And what I do is work in the community, working in all kinds of community, helping them with projects, proposals, everything.
Sounds
Very
like what
cool.
Barack Obama did before he went into politics.
So that probably helps you with arm wrestling.
Yes. It's the same job Barack Obama had.
Mhm. We probably don't have that many arm wrestlers.
I don't know how it would help me with arm wrestling, but
I mean,
it's
the organizing part.
Mhm. Yeah, we probably don't have that many arm wrestlers that would be voting for Barack Obama.
Oh yeah, it helps a lot. I'm a really organized guy.
Yeah.
No, no, I wouldn't vote for him. I didn't.
Yeah.
Or the other guy. But you know, in Puerto Rico, everything is politics, and I'm trying to keep politics away from
Right.
what we are doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because everybody wants to, get exposed, people to see him and all that, and I don't want any politics
No.
in what we're doing with arm wrestling. And believe me, I don't know if I can say this, but I've been an activist, a political activist in Puerto Rico for 20 years. And I've worked politics. I know politics, and I know the electoral system, all that. I have done that for 20 years. And right now, I don't want no part of it, because Puerto Rico is really bad in politics.
Mhm. Yes, you have certainly have your problems with the, financial government finances and so forth.
Yeah. I mean, this is an island who apparently has over $100 trillion in loans, and it doesn't show. Or this island could be better. Could be better in every way. And they talked about Trump, like after the Hurricane Maria, that Trump withheld funds from Puerto Rico. No, he did the right thing. Trump is a business guy. and Trump had businesses in Puerto Rico. He had dealt with Puerto Rican politicians. What he did, he made sure that nobody stole that money. And Puerto Rican politicians are so dumb, they don't even know how to spend the money, and it's in the bank. And everybody says, "Oh, Trump did nothing. Trump didn't give nothing." No, Puerto Rican politicians are so dumb. They don't know how to spend it. They don't know how to use it, how to take it out. They don't know nothing. Like, I mean, Maria was like 8 years ago, and just now are starting to, release some funds to start helping people. And I know this because I work with this, But we live in an island, a small island.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Dan.
Where would you say your favorite part of the United States that you've arm wrestled in would be?
I would say, wait. I think it was Kansas City. I went there like 15, 16 years ago. And that tournament was so packed. So packed. There were so many people. I ended up dead that night. I didn't do so well, but I didn't do so bad either. I remember I pulled a lot that night, and I would say Kansas City. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if there's any Puerto Ricans in Kansas City right now that I'm wrestle, but I remember I went to a tournament there, and it was that. And do you guys remember the Harley pool?
Yes, the
There
Harley
was a
pool
tournament called the Harley pool that whoever won a Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was in Florida. That was held in Florida, I think. And those two, that time in Kansas City and that time in Florida and the Harley pool. I would say those two places. Yeah. I went to San Diego in April, and Kyle DePew invited me to practice, but I couldn't make it. I would love to have practice with Kyle and his dad, but I couldn't make it.
We gotta get you up here to our area.
Yeah. I've never arm wrestled in New York. Actually, Joe is going to travel to New York in December, I think, and he was looking for an event so he could pull. And I think you guys made a video, a podcast these last few days, and telling all the events that we're going to have up to December. Yep. And I sent it to him so he would know, so he could go and wrestle. But yeah, I would love to go
Dave's
to New York
job.
and I'm going to at least practice with you guys.
Tell anybody who comes up to the Northeast to get in contact
next year,
with one of us, and we'll happily point them in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So that's what building the community is about, right? We're all doing this for the same purposes.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for your time tonight, man. It's been awesome. Speaking to like-minded people across the world has been, so invaluable.
Thank you for inviting me.
We loved it.
I think you have a very similar goal as what we're doing with our 98 stuff.
Yeah, that's why I follow you guys. Before I met Dan, I already followed you guys on Instagram and YouTube.
Oh, nice.
Actually, Dan started saying, follow this, follow that. And I always told them, I follow you already.
That's great.
And Dan told me he was maybe coming down to Puerto Rico on Christmas. I don't know.
There's a possibility.
If he does, we're gonna welcome him. Yeah, we're gonna set something up.
There's always a possibility
meet all the guys, but I would like to let you know if there's I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try and go to New York next year. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna really try.
If Dan comes down there,
I'm going to Florida on May, and I'll try to do something. Yeah.
If Dan comes down there, don't take it easy on him. You guys kick his ass down there.
Gotta show the Puerto Rican how Puerto Ricans roll.
No, actually, I like to practice with a plan. I don't practice with like, oh, let's go, just get on the table and pull.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I always ask the guy that's in front of me, what did you want to do?
Yeah.
I want to go in, I want to go outside, I want to do pronation, supination. I practice with a plan. After we are all warmed up and ready, if some of the guys want to go hard with, then we go hard. Actually, the guys come to me to go hard because I'm the one that can really hold them, challenge them.
Right. That's great. But yeah, we'll put a link to your channel in the description of this for you.
I mean, when do you have the Oh, cool, thank you. When do you have if I go to New York, I want to go to one of your guys' events. And I know you keep updated with the events you got going on. I'll try to plan something. Maybe go 1-2 days, just hang out with you guys and come back. What do you guys think?
That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I have practices on regularly. I host practices on Wednesdays out of my garage. But I do know we have a tournament coming up in March 12th in the Philadelphia area. And then the next event that I would have considered would be a barbecue that I have June 4th, that weekend. And it's a big old super match style setup, big barbecue. Everyone just comes, hangs out, and arm wrestles.
It really is a very big area for arm wrestling, and it where I live in eastern Pennsylvania, in Allentown, about an hour north of Philadelphia, and I could go to a practice every day of the week except Monday and Friday, within about an hour and a half of me. You know, either in New Jersey or Philadelphia, or, and like I said, just within an hour and a half travel, I could have a practice every day except Monday and Friday, and there's usually something on Saturday, and some days actually there's several. You know, Sunday is a big day for practices up here. I know of at least 4 or 5 groups in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York area that practice Sunday. But it's really a very we like to think that really the Mid-Atlantic is one of the strongest areas for a number of groups. California likes to think they're better, but you know, they like to think they're better about everything. And sorry, California, you're not. Which, if anybody's from California is watching, they'll get upset. But hey, too bad. But anyway, they like to claim they invented arm wrestling too, but no, they invented wrist wrestling. Arm wrestling was started in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Yes.
But
yeah.
Whenever you're ready to come down
to
New York, or come up to New York rather, or to the tri-state area, you let us know. We'll find out what events are happening, because there's almost an event happening within I'd say a maximum 6 hours every weekend.
And if there's anything,
there's an event happening.
If there's anything we can do to help you grow your channel, spread the word, feel free to post on our 98 page, all that stuff.
Well, all we need subscriptions. That's what we need. Subscriptions, because the revenue rules of YouTube. You gotta have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watched, and they have a formula for that.
We're not there yet either.
It's hard. It's hard. And right now, Right now, these last couple of weeks, yeah, this last couple of weeks, I've been getting like at least one subscription every 2 days,
That's
at
good.
least.
Yeah.
And I always try to keep it local with practices and all that. But what I do is try to keep up with whatever is happening in arm wrestling and put it on the channel because I know people that are not from Puerto Rico are watching, but what I'm trying to do is get it out there for people from Puerto Rico so they can see that what's going on and what's the sport and it's working. People are getting interested in the sport and by doing all this that I'm doing. I mean, it's hard because I usually start putting content from Thursday to Sunday. Everything I found, and I have to come up with ideas and everything. And I did a when John started his channel, he started doing lives, talking about questions he has had like what was like pulling Richard Lucas and all that and Spenko. And I did, and I looked for every video I could find of those two arm wrestling. I made a video of it and I posted. And I remember that it had like 37 views for like a month. And I don't know what happened. Like from 3 days ago, 4 days ago, the video has 8,000 views.
Someone
I don't know what happened.
probably shared it.
And you know it's working. It's been working. That's what I'm doing, keeping it local and trying to put. Well, I don't know what happened, but it has like I think it's up to 9,000 views now
Yeah.
in like 3 days.
That happened to a video I made too.
And I do everything on my phone. I don't use a computer. I use my phone. Everything
wow.
I do on my phone. If you put me in front of the computer to do this, yeah.
Yeah.
I do everything on my phone. I don't use any computer stuff. I use apps on my phone and everything I do on my phone.
Yeah, I did a
Actually,
video.
I gotta get a better phone.
I did like a funny video with like all these rubber bands on me and stuff. And you know, all my friends liked it, a couple views and stuff, but then Devin Larrett shared it and all of a sudden it jumped up to like 17,000 views and I was like, "Oh my god." So that was I know how it is. It's exciting when you see your numbers go up like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, Devin is a big influence over arm wrestling everywhere and anywhere.
Oh yeah.
And he's always willing to help everyone who asks for his help. And even if we haven't met face to face, he's been really good to me, really good to Pulseo TV and to the Puerto Rican arm wrestling community. Even he did a small live before he went out to do something, and he even shout out at us talking and promoted the event we're gonna have in December.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
So Devin is like a really great guy and helping the community.
That's great. You know what? Send us your address and your size, and we'll send you a shirt, a 98 shirt.
I always keep up with all lives from guys. But I'll do the same. I'll do the same because I have some plans for the near future to start raising funds for doing competitions and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some shirts, and I can send you guys some shirts and some stuff, you know. And do you know what I'm gonna do? John Percent said that you can put his name on Google and his address will come up. I'm gonna start doing that with Paul Lane, with John. I already have Devin's, and I'm going to start sending our stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We do that all the time.
You know, maybe they will wear it and get it on the video. I don't know.
Right. We do it all the time, and they wear our shirts and they send us pictures and we put them on Instagram and stuff. It's fun. We every tournament we have, we give away a free table to someone who doesn't have a table.
Yeah. Dude, I want to do that. I'm trying to get some money to buy a table to do a giveaway. Because the main problem in Puerto Rico is that there's really a few tables.
Yeah.
Like I have tables in Maya West. There are some tables in Cabo Rojo, and there's some tables in Florida, Arecibo area, and in San Juan. But the rest of the island, there's no tables. Now, this guy from Yabucoa, which is a town from the southeast of Puerto Rico, DM'd me about the sport and wanting to do events in that area, but he doesn't have a table. And I said, dude, don't worry, I'm going to get you a table.
Nice.
I'm going to get you a table. And I was talking to Joe earlier about that because he builds them. He has like 4 tables in his house right now.
Nice.
So what I want to do is like in Puerto Rico, we have 78 municipalities. I want to put an arm wrestling table in every municipality of Puerto Rico so anybody can arm wrestle in their town.
That would be awesome.
That's a project for the future.
Yeah.
That's a good goal to have. I like that.
That's great.
All right. I hope that, as time goes on and as the communities and the sport grows and people start to come more closer together with their goals and commonalities, that we can each help each other out with meet these goals.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Once again, man, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. I think we'll probably put a stop to today's recording because we got a lot of good content.
I want to say something before you stop.
Okay, sure.
I want to say something before you stop recording. I want to, if you allow me, I want to say something in Spanish to the people that will see this in Puerto Rico.
Absolutely.
Bueno, mi gente, seguimos creciendo. Hay gente en todas partes de los Estados Unidos y del mundo que están viendo esto. Somos Puerto Rico, somos Pulseo TV. El Pulseo está vivo y el Pulseo va a volver al estatus que estaba en los 80 y en los 90, gracias a ustedes que están viendo esto y que nos están respaldando. Le quiero dar las gracias a todos esos muchachos que siempre han estado ahí y siempre han estado con nosotros y nunca nos han dado la espalda, empezando con Joe, que siempre ha estado ahí y nunca dice que no. Miguel Rosas de Cabo Rojo, que está poniendo los eventos y nos estamos ayudando uno al otro a llevar el pulseo a todas partes de Puerto Rico. A los muchachos que están en los Estados Unidos, Arturo, te fue muy bien el sábado, no digas que no porque te fue muy bien y son pajitas que le caen a la leche, o sea, te fue muy bien. A Noel, que ha sido el pulsador del año 2 veces en la Florida del PAF, un saludo y un abrazo bien grande, que siga haciendo lo que está haciendo allá por Puerto Rico. A su hermano Sariel, que vive en Puerto Rico y va a la Florida a dar cátedra y a ganar los torneos en la Florida. También le quiero dar un saludo y lo quiero felicitar a Richard Calero, que él está por allá por el área de Nueva York y ha competido mucho con ustedes por allá en el área de Nueva York. Y a todo el pueblo de Puerto Rico, que el pulseo está creciendo, Pulseo TV está creciendo y vamos a llegar lejos y no nos vamos a detener. That's all I wanted to say.
Nice.
I forgot to mention about Richard Calero. You know Richard, right?
Yeah.
But Richard Calero was the guy that came to Puerto Rico and met Joe Cortez, and he started arm wrestling with him. And that's how in 2006, it started slowly coming back up until we met. Joe and I met in 2010, and we have come to here. And Richard is from New York, from that area. Great puller, great arm wrestler.
That's
Saludos a
great.
Michel también.
Awesome.
Well, I'm gonna.
I don't have a lot of experience on doing this type of thing, but I'm gonna do my research so I can do the same we just did in my channel with you guys.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
You know,
Sounds good
I'm
to me.
gonna do my research and do this same thing so it could be in my channel with you guys.
That would be
Definitely a
fun.
plan. That'll be a lot of fun, man.
All right, I'm gonna stop the recording and then we can say bad things about each other. But thank you again for coming on.
Aquí nosotros le decimos, los muchachos de gimnasio. No, thank you for inviting me, and I thank God I met Dan, and through Dan I had this opportunity because this is what we need. The sport needs this to get in Puerto Rico, get exposed, and that people in the United States, in the mainland, know that there are strong pullers down here.
Absolutely.
And I don't say we have elite level arm wrestlers, but we do have some strong pullers that can give anyone a run for his money.
Yep.